Hello and welcome back to Just the Zoom of Us. In this week's episode, we sat down with modest fashion blogger Shahd Batal, who is not only the face of ASOS's new Ramadan campaign, but also created her very own modest fashion edit for the brand. We talked about everything from iftar to dressing, so I hope you enjoy the episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share with your friends. Thanks for watching.
Just the Zoom of us. Just the Zoom of us.
Hello, Shahad, and welcome to our Just the Zoom of Us.
Thank you for having me. I love this play on words. This
Me too. So you are the face of ASOS's new Ramadan campaign.
That's like so crazy to hear like out loud. I think the first time I said it, I was like, oh my gosh.
So I'm going to pick your brains about the whole collection and how all that came about and everything. But first of all, I want to start at the beginning, and I want to know how you kind of got into fashion and beauty blogging and why you kind of decided to do that.
So long story short, I was a YouTube baby. Like I always grew up watching YouTube. I was like around when all like the British YouTubers, it felt like they were like taking over the world. Like I grew up like watching that. And so in college, my first video was on my MacBook Air webcam. It was an awful video. It's never going to see the light of day again. And I was just like making videos. I was very shy about it. I didn't tell anyone until like people would come up to me and they'd be like, I think I saw your video. And I was like, that was not me. It wasn't me. I was so shy about it. And it was just something I kind of did on the side. And I kept making videos and the followers grew, but it was still like a secret at the time. And then I think my sophomore year in college, I was like, oh, like this is actually kind of growing into something. And I figured I need to tell my like Muslim immigrant parents that what I'm doing before someone like goes to them and tells them, hey, your daughter's making videos on the internet. So I sat my parents down because it was like kind of a big deal to them. And I think till this day, they don't fully understand what I do, but I think they're really proud. But at the time I was doing actually natural hair videos. So it was the complete opposite. I was doing a little beauty here and there. I was still making like wellness type videos, chatty videos, but I was not wearing the hijab. And then about 3 years ago, I decided that I wanted to start wearing the hijab. It was kind of like I was going through a lot in my life. I just felt like I turned to the religion and it was just something that felt right for me. I always knew that I wanted to wear it. I just didn't think it would be then. It literally just like happened and I was like, okay, I feel ready to wear it. So I got to delete all my videos. And the reason why I say I got to is because now I look back and I cringe. Like I feel like I got a fresh start. But at the time it was like kind of rough. Like I started from scratch, you know, people that followed me for natural hair, suddenly the hair is gone. So like I didn't take it personally that there were like a lot of people unsubscribing. And then it was rough for a little bit. And once I started wearing hijab, I think that's when I got a little bit more into beauty because suddenly like I didn't have my hair, my curls to like hide behind anymore. So I like really got into beauty. And then I was always into fashion, but I also think when I started wearing the hijab, I loved it more because that's when I had to really think about what I was wearing. Like modest fashion is not easy, you know, like to suddenly go from what I was wearing to try to make everything hijabi friendly and like not lose my personal style and try to figure out what my style was and navigate that. So I think that's when I really fell in love with beauty, like makeup and fashion.
And do you think there is still a misconception around the hijab?
Oh, 100%. I think like every day, like, to me, if I focus on all the negative things or negative comments that I get, that I'm gonna go crazy. So I choose not to focus on the microaggressions. But like, of course, like I've lived in LA for a couple years now, and it's so strange being in an area that's like not my community, and there's not a lot of people that look like me. I never experienced like the stares that I get, and people like it's not like hateful stares. They're like people. It's like a "what are you?" Like I thought you were oppressed type of stare, you know, and it's just like really disheartening. But yeah, it's definitely there.
I think that's why like campaigns like what you're doing now is amazing, kind of bringing like modest fashion to the masses and changing the whole perception of it. This is a pretty loaded question, but what does modest fashion and modesty mean to you?
To me, well, I think it's something that's personal for everybody. And like, yes, like in Islam, like there's kind of like a basic standard, but I think that to everybody, like your journey is differently. There's a lot of women who dress modestly who do not wear the hijab. And a lot of people, like I've noticed in the US, it's a lot more like casual, lenient than in the UK. A lot of Muslims dress a lot more conservative there. And it's not even just Muslims, it's just like women that like to dress more modestly. But to me, it's, you know, feeling like I'm covered. It feels, I mean, the reason behind it all is you're gonna hear me before you see me, right? It's kind of like the hijab is a reminder to me every day, right? Before I do anything, like it's a reminder for me to, you know, not do something that, you know, goes against my own values.
But if modesty means a different thing to everyone, like how on earth did you curate a collection? Like, did you have one woman in mind? Were you kind of doing it for 5 women?
So that was kind of my biggest like internal struggle with the collection, because at the beginning I was like, do I try to cater to everybody? Do I try to make everybody happy? And as we know, that never works. So I thought, you know, I wanted this collection to be as authentic to my styles, right? So some of the pieces, like there's this beautiful sheer organza top, which obviously is not modest, but it's easy to style modestly. So I kind of wanted pieces that reflected my style and how I dress at the moment, because like I said, it's different for everyone and that journey is different. Like some days I will feel like dressing way more modest than other times. You know, with Ramadan coming up, I try to like, I know that I'm just gonna try to be the best version of myself and how I dress. But yeah, I think I just decided like, I can't please everybody. And this is my style and like, I can't be wrong. Like no one can be mad at me for my style, you know?
So if you had to describe it in 3 words and sum it up, what would those 3 words be?
Oh my gosh, that's so difficult. I would say it is versatile. Wait, modest fashion or the edit?
The edit.
The edit, okay. It's very versatile. It's very comfortable. It feels elevated, right? So like what I had in mind was it's a very holistic look at the way I dress, right? So there's like tracksuits, because I like the tracksuit that I'm wearing right now. There's like, you know, there's like sweatpants and stuff, but then there's also like really beautiful basic like dresses, right? But they're not basic. They're what I in a perfect world, what I would want when I shop for pieces that are basic but a little bit more elevated, right? So like I keep saying, it's so frustrating when I find like the perfect maxi dress for like any vacation or occasion, and then there's like a huge slit down the middle. So like this is like the easiest place to shop for me.
If you had to pick 3 of your favorite pieces in the whole edit, what would it be?
Definitely that lavender top. I think it's a moment in time. Like I think when you wear it, it's definitely a moment, you know, like no one's gonna not be staring at you. I love, kind of a cheat, but I love that sage set in the collection. Like that's an example of something that's so easy to style modestly, because you could wear like how I styled it was with a white turtleneck under, but there's also this like sage blazer coat situation that would look so amazing with it if you want to like do a little bit more. But I love everything. I love the tracksuit that I'm wearing right now too. That was definitely not 3 pieces, I'm sorry.
So you also included beauty products as well. It's not just fashion. Mm-hmm. So how do you change your beauty routine during Ramadan? Like how do you kind of switch it up?
Yeah, I definitely let my skin breathe a lot more than normally. Ideally, we wouldn't be quarantined right now. And now I think I haven't been wearing as much makeup. But during Ramadan specifically is when I kind of give my skin a break. It's when I focus more on my skincare. I think we can get very lazy with our skincare, but like during Ramadan and now I have like all the time in the world to make sure that, you know, I'm masking more, I'm using more hydrating products. It's a time to really like, for me to like, because I'm always looking at my skin and it's not covered up, I can work on hyperpigmentation and really make sure that I'm not getting lazy with my skincare.
That's so good that you just mentioned quarantine, because I haven't even asked you what you've been doing every day.
Oh my gosh. I feel like when it first happened, I was feeling really anxious because there were so many people from I feel like whenever I went on social media, it was either people giving me information about COVID or about everything going on, or they were telling me that I had to be productive, and if I wasn't productive, then I had no discipline, and I was like, this is making me really, really anxious. And I was like, actually, no, there's like a pandemic happening. Like that's not how, this isn't like a time to make the most of it, right? So I was really like taking care of my mental, because I feel like focusing on, myself and reflecting is more productive than just like staying busy. So I've been doing that. I've been resting. I've been like watching Ozark. I've been FaceTiming all of the people that I love, and like, it just like, to me, I just like, I miss everyone more. Even if there's so many people that I don't see all the time because they don't live near me or whatever, or they do, and we're also busy day to day. Like it feels different when you actually can't see someone.
What is kind of a typical day in the life of you during Ramadan?
Okay, during Ramadan, I'd wake up, I would have suhoor, which is, your meal before fast begins. I usually just do whatever breakfast. It's like really hard to wake up at 5 and be like, I want to cook a full course meal. So I'll just have whatever, make sure I'm drinking a ton of water. And then I will pray Fajr, which is like the morning prayer. And then I'll go back to sleep for as long as I want. I will not set an alarm during Ramadan. And then I wake up and I just try to do something that's going to like spiritually enhance me. So whether it's reading Quran or like watching a lecture or whatever, I just like really like to take that time to myself. I try to I think about like habits that aren't stimulating. So like watching TV and like all these things that don't actually do any real good to me. So I try to like actively make the most of my time. And then I will rest throughout the day, read, do whatever work I have, make sure I'm like praying all my prayers in between. And then at night is when Ramadan, like it really feels like Ramadan. So we'll break fast with our families or my friends. We'll have like iftar parties, like amazing. And those are my favorite moments, like my favorite memories of Ramadan, and like going to Tarawih, which is like the night prayer, and like just being with the whole community at night is amazing. And that is amazing whether I'm in LA with like a whole new community of Muslims or if I'm back in Minnesota.
What's some of your favorite Ramadan food? Do you cook a lot or do you sort of order?
During Ramadan, I like to cook. I like went vegan a few years ago, and it was kind of tricky. And my mom and I like sat down and we like tried to figure out how to make Sudanese dishes vegan. So there's this like thing called curates and mudah, which is like almost like an injera type of consistency with the sauce. And so we sat there and we're like, oh, this could be vegan if we just substituted it with like the broth for vegetable broth. And that was really fun. But there's like sambusa, samosas, what else do I love? Salads. Unfortunately, like a lot of the food is fried, so I'm trying to like stay away from that, like typical Ramadan food. But yeah.
How did ASOS find you? Did they slide into your DMs? And if they did, what was your reaction? I can't imagine getting an email like that.
I think, so my first manager that I ever worked with, her name is Kirsten, she's amazing. We were kind of like brainstorming, like what is the dream, right? And I think 3 years ago, we sat down and we were like, oh my gosh, what if we did an ASOS edit? And it was so like far, like, it wasn't like, I don't think I'd even been in contact with ASOS at the time. Mm-hmm. And then I think I was actually in the UK, because I'm in the UK quite often. And she was like, hey, do you want to take a meeting with ASOS? And I'm like, what? And she was like, yeah, like potentially be an ambassador. And I was like, I don't know what that means, but yes. And I was so excited about it. And I luckily I got to meet the team like early on. So I've had a relationship with them for a while. So I was an ambassador for a bit before the collection even happened. But I was like a loyal customer of ASOS anyway. Like I told you, I was a YouTube baby. So I like grew up watching everyone's ASOS hauls, and yeah, it just feels very full circle.
Oh, that's so cute.
Very
well,
cool.
I love the edit, and I'm excited to see everyone in Dubai wear it. Delivery to Dubai from ASOS is so fast. Thank you, ASOS, we love you. And it's like free returns as well, which is dangerous but amazing. So I'm definitely going to be getting my hands on some of your bits.
That's amazing. That means so much. I'm so excited about this.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me today, and I wish you all the best in lockdown and hope you stay sane.